Good day, family, and welcome to the Power Up. We're so glad that you're joining us as we come together to equip, educate, empower, and elevate our communities so that we're all better together. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas, excited to move forward with the amazing segments in front of us. Let's get started. First, we want to start with global news. As we all know, we might be across the water from each other, but information is too important and lives are too valuable not to elevate the different causes and awareness. CNN has shared many multiple stories that have impacted us around the globe. Did you know that more than 43 million children have been driven from their homes by flood, storms, droughts, and wildfires over the 6 years between 2016 and 2021? According to UNICEF, who is an amazing global advocate, an entity who does the work around the globe to educate and equip us, we find that the work still needs your help. It turns out that 20,000 children are displaced every single day from different climate changes, different matters that researchers say have been resourced or found to be floods and storms causing 95% of children being displaced. The rest are due to droughts and wildfires. Such a terrifying number. 20,000 children almost daily. East Asia and the Pacific have particularly been affected, even back to 2020, where 1.5 million children were displaced across India and other parts, even in the Philippines, other countries who desperately need assistance. Palau and Vietnam included. By overall numbers of displacements, many countries find themselves dealing with multiple children that they have to orphan or find support for. The humanitarian efforts are non-going. This is an elevated crisis. Also in global news, there was a sad experience in the Congo River where bodies of at least 52 people have been recovered. A boat was capsized in the last few weeks, where there's concern that the death toll will continue to rise. Individuals are still missing. The boat was carrying over 300 people when it overturned. 300 people when it capsized, just northwest of the Republic of Congo. And it was in the middle of the night, so they've been experiencing long, arduous recovery efforts. Family, that country needs our prayers and they need our support. And then we can't forget those who are facing struggle in Haiti with the continued surge of gang violence, continuing to displace those who are doing their best to stay away from the violence. Gangs now control 75% of the city of Haiti. Family, the streets that were used to walk on are now barricaded or burnt out, surrounded by vehicles. And warnings of gang control, such as in Port-au-Prince, all have choked out vital supply lifelines to those living in the area. They need our help. They need our thoughts. They certainly need our prayers. Whether it's Haiti and trying to support the family members of those who might live across the water, the family members who might be in other countries worried about their loved ones, or even those who are former residents that just want to get aid to their neighbors unable to touch base with them. How about those who are in Congo who, oh my goodness, are wondering if it was their family member out of the 300 people who are those who are mourning the loss of their loved ones. And yes, the children who are being impacted worldwide, especially in countries hit by climate change. So, how can you help? Tammy, why do you elevate this news to us as if we can be a resource across the water? I'm glad you asked. Because you can. CNN.com is a viable resource reporting news. This cable news network, established to share global and national news, can give you real time information or what you might see and find on a daily basis as statistics change, as information changes. Consider tapping into them to be equipped and aware of what's happening in countries around the world. And if you'd like to give, consider tapping into the United Nations Foundation. The United Nations is a pioneer of global information, global advocacy, how things can be improved through every country on an equal playing field. They elevate many alarms and send leaders out into places that are oftentimes hard to reach by foot. Consider tapping into the United Nations Foundation. Learn about how you can advocate and then get busy elevating awareness in our communities. Remember, we're one human race. Regardless of the external, what's underneath is what matters. And if it was you, wouldn't you want someone coming to assist you? Your family in need? Come on, we're all united together. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers are extended to those across the water in other countries and to those family members who are right next door, those co-workers who work in worry of their family members. We're all united. And here at the Power Up, global news is important. And you are important because of all the ways you can make a difference. Remember, CNN can give you real-time news and information. Consider tapping into them to learn all of the updated information and how you can contribute to the United Nations Foundation. Family, you matter. And what you can do is make a difference where you are. There's more to come as we welcome a special guest and go into a very special segment. So stay tuned. There's more after this.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry Y. Hicks of the amazing Fab Five, and I am here to tell you to tune into the Empowered Morning Show Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the WIN Network.
Welcome back, family. We're so excited to continue to elevate and advocate for those who might not have a voice. This is Homelessness Awareness Month. Did you know that individuals, including children, suffer, live on the streets, and have struggles that you couldn't imagine? Well, today we've brought an expert to you. We're so honored here at the Power Up to welcome someone who has been working in human services for more than 25 years. This has been her work and her heart. Family, we welcome Miss Marty Stidham, who is an advocate in the great state of Georgia and certainly has a global reach. Miss Stidham, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are honored because we know first your reputation and your work. We know that you're always busy, one of those people who are selfless, even having different, spearheading different efforts, not just in Georgia, but that have impacted the world. Could you share a little on what you've done to make a difference?
I'll be happy to. I think the way I've made a difference is to make sure whether it's in my community or at my place of work, I've worked really hard to make sure that students who or youth who don't have an opportunity to see, experience, and have a chance to be successful and succeed. I always say break the cycle of poverty. The main goal for me is to see students live their dream. My daughter right now is a freshman in college herself, and I always say, I just want you to live your dream. And so I want to do that same for the students that I get to work with and have impacted while I've been at my job. And it's just been an honor to be a part of meeting a lot of students who I met them while trying to get out of high school, but the struggle and graduation wasn't a happy experience. It was a happy experience of completion, but it also was an ending where you ended maybe your secure place that you slept on your high school teacher's couch, and you went to but and you wanted to go to college but didn't know if it was for you or you could afford it. So it's been nice to help students from high school to through school at college, but then also now to talk to some who have all over the country and talk about how they have been successful, and now they're trying to give back to the students we continue to help.
Wow, what powerful work you do. I think one of the things I omitted in your introduction was to share with individuals that you are in leadership, executive leadership at Kennesaw State University in Georgia. Certainly, your reach has been far beyond that. But one of the things that got the attention of Washington, D.C., was your work with helping homeless college students, something that individuals didn't know existed. Can you edify the community, educate us so that we can understand what that is like?
Yeah, and I know with your work at HUD, and I've been honored that y'all have recognized and continue to recognize the efforts at Kennesaw State. And so I greatly appreciate that. Um, but what that looks like and how people don't realize it is most people just look at how they've lived and not realize other people's experiences. And so they hear about students who are hungry or struggling and in school, but they forget that they do age and get older and it continues, but they continue, they grow, they flourish, but the poverty issues that they're dealing with, the trauma that they're dealing with, the family struggles that they continue to deal with continue past high school. And I don't know where the assumption has come, but people just don't think that they would go to college. They think they would just go to work. But as we all know, to truly break the cycle of poverty, you've got to have some higher education. And without it, it becomes much more difficult to um, get into, at least and get to into the middle class and to be able to capture their American dream. So people don't think about it in the terms that they complete high school, but that they also dare to dream, have the audacity to dream that they too can go to college. Um, so I think a student right now, well, she's in medical school right now, but when I met her, she was in foster care. She was struggling, um, and but then came to college, did well, and ended up getting a full scholarship to go to medical school. And so that's amazing, and that's things. And so I always say they too are capable. They too have a dream, and so they just don't start on equal footing. So that's why several one of the programs that we have now make sure when they start on equal footing, and that makes sure they have pillows, sheets, toilet paper, toothbrush, clothes, so that way when the first day of class starts, they're ready. But a lot of people just don't think about them beyond the high school experience. They deserve and are capable and quite smart and should go to college. Um, and all the students that come get into school on their own merit, and it's just a blessing to be a part of their journey.
Wow, amazing. Isn't that awesome? So some of the things that the care center started, other colleges have copied.
Yeah.
Finding out that there are homeless students quite around. And let's be clear, homelessness as a student can be couch surfing, sleeping on a dorm floor, sleeping on a bench, even living in your car, having a place that's not safe, suitable, sanitary, a place where you can get mail, a fixed address. And so when you put it in that perspective, it kind of makes sense that there are families who can't afford, but are grateful to just get their student, their child, an opportunity. How would you, what do you recommend for individuals who are just being enlightened that this exists? How can we make a difference?
Some of it is very simple. Every school, and you know federal law probably better than most. Um, every publicly funded school has a homeless liaison, and so every high school has that in their every they all have that person or persons in each district. So, and some of them are funded, and some of them not. But I know, like in Georgia, all of our schools that are publicly funded have that. So partner with your homeless liaison in the high school setting, um, and catch the, and see how you can be a part of helping them, especially if they're an unfunded district. How can you be a part of helping them help students get to college? That's one step. Now, colleges are different. It is up to us to decide how we serve students who come to us with these struggles. We don't have a mandate like the McKinney-Vento mandate for our K through 12 partners. Um, so if we have someone like myself or my team in care, we you can partner with them. You can also, most colleges are quite aware since COVID of basic needs and that there's a lack of basic needs at the college level. So find out who on that campus, how can you partner with that college campus to at least help and support students who are lacking the basic necessities. Um, so it can be very simple, but it does need to be intentional, and it needs to, but I also tell people, come asking, not telling. Ask us what we need, because as social services professionals, we can give you a laundry list of these are the things we need, and it may not be what you assume or decide that we need. Um, a lot of people bring me a lot of notebooks and pens and paper, and I'll go, this is great, but the students don't use that anymore. At the college level, they do a lot of things, and at the high school level, they need a laptop. They need access to technology to overcome the digital divide. I definitely tell people, ask what is needed. I always provide our donors opportunity by providing them a needs list, so they don't even have to ask. They can always go on our website and see our needs list, because I want to make sure people know whether you can give 3 cans of tuna or $500. All is needed, because this is a not a one time, one moment, one donation fix. This is an ongoing crisis.
Certainly, the lives of our next generation matter. And you've done an amazing work over the last few years, just alone with elevating folks, and few is 2 decades. So I remember having the opportunity to come tour the care center at Kennesaw State with the chief of police, and how he at the time was floored, knowing that the center started in a room and then ended up with a wing because the need was so great. that you went from a walk-in closet to a full pantry where
Mhm.
anyone at any time could get what they needed, and being resourceful with the swipes, how other students could donate to get so that students could get lunch
Right.
without even having to identify themselves and remain anonymous.
Right.
So what do you do to consider innovative techniques? What ideas would you offer for someone who has a heart for kids, who wants to do this type of work but doesn't know how to start?
So again, partner, ask the questions, what is needed, and then build the resources. A lot of people are focused on making sure you start with seed funding and different supports, but there are a lot of groups in your communities, your churches, your um, sororities and your fraternities, your different programs out there that want to do volunteering and philanthropic activities. Give them an act. A lot of people, some people do want to write a check and give, and that is always welcome. But it's also welcome when people want to put some sweat equity into these students and into their future. So I think the biggest thing is definitely start to get organized and pull people together and but assess what is needed in that county with the high if you work with the high schools or if you work with the colleges. Um, and then just start coming and being intentional. That's what people did for me for so many years. They would just continue to support, continue to help me network, continue. I never forget the yoga classes who would just rally behind us, or the golf, the women's golf groups who would say, "This week we'll do." This month we'll do peanut butter and jelly. Next month we'll do noodles and pasta sauce. Then we'll also do beverages. And so every month they took on. And I've had churches adopt us, and they'll say, what do you need this month, and they'll give it, and so that's the kind of intentionality. So it can be just continuing to collect and gather and give. It could be to host an affair so that the you can fundraise and give money to a homeless liaison and say use this to help a student go to um, a college tour. Sometimes the idea of a college tour is unimaginable. um, and now my program is actually training other schools. We're crisscrossing the country. We're actually training 30 schools right now throughout the state of Georgia, on deck to do 6 to 10 schools in partnership with the large grocery chain. So we're out there now training colleges how to do it, and also bringing K through 12 in the conversation so we can help them do what we did, is start talking to our high school partners. Out of those partnerships, we're about to help our students that we now recruit to our university through our Ascend program, and they come and they don't know how to drive. Well, now through our partnership, we're about to give them free driving classes with the local high school. That was unimaginable years ago. Now it's going to be doable. So just but that becomes from relationships, conversation, and intentionality.
A true executive leader, family, while she has risen through the ranks at Kennesaw State. By the way, congratulations on your new position, Miss Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs. I love it. Having been the director of departments and the director of the care center, and when you have vision, people tend to tap into. And when you have heart to go with that vision, it just speaks volumes. Marcy, you and I do this work because we care about people.
Mhm.
Homelessness Awareness Month is more than just a month to say that's a thing. There are more than 500,000 brand new homeless folks every year. And sadly, 1 in 30 of them are children. And the reason that you focus so hard on the youth, especially that population when they become young adults, is so important because of the hard work that you have. Before we let you go, I also know you to be a motivator, to be someone who loves to inspire other people, someone who sees the great work. Um, we want to share how individuals can be a resource with the Care Center. You can go to care.kennesaw.edu. You can, as she said, they have a giving list, and you can get more information there on how you can assist. And if you just want to know more about homelessness in the nation, you can tap into HUD.gov. That's the Department of Housing and Urban Development. They take a yearly point in time count to see how many people are currently, or at that time, the coldest night of the year, are on the streets and in shelters. Let us be educated together. But Marcy, speak to our folks. There are many who are in the struggle, any struggle, a struggle. And you yet struggling, having lost dad, having dealt with different issues in life, still get up every day and fight for others. What would you share or share and pour into someone who needs to hear it?
Sometimes the hardest thing to do is when your days are long and rough, and the world just seems dark and bleak, and or things are happening personally in your family, on your job, in your community that you just don't understand. Um, I'm a person who likes to focus on, but what can I do? Um, I want to focus on hope, because if I focus on the negative, you don't want to get out of bed sometimes. But I focus on what can I do. When I teach and supervise student interns who want to be a social worker like me, um, the hardest thing I've seen them have to deal with is when they meet someone that has. I have one student right now. She was a care student. Now she is our grad student. She's helping people who she's now working with us. When I was her case manager one time, now she's somebody's case manager. Um, and I never forget the moment she met a student who was literally going through everything she went through. And I call it, you met yourself in the room. And she did it, but it was hard. And so she said, I can't, she couldn't imagine. It put her back in that same space. And so she got hopeless. And what I told her was, you've got to have hope even when they don't have hope, because I had hope for you when there was no hope, when there was no hope to be had. And so I try to teach them on, like, what can you do for this person? How can you help this person? What can you do to change the world? How can you be their advocate? And it's not all going to happen in one moment, one time. It happens over time. And so you also have to have patience. So tragedies and sadness come, and it's in moments, but over the lifetime, it's a we you have the chance to impact the world and change the world. So nothing, everything for me is not perfect. All things are not great, but it gives me hope and it gives me happiness when I'm able to help somebody impact their lives, and then for them to come back and say, "You don't remember me, but." And that's the way I want to always impact somebody. You never know what the littlest thing is, that you can do. So I always say, always give hope and figure out what can you do. And when I think of my student who's now doing for others what was done for her, even though her life is still not perfect, it's still not where she wants it to be. Um, she's happy because she's changing lives through it all. So I hope that helps somebody.
Wow. Well, it sure enough helped me wake up every day with a mind of hope. Thank you so much. I call her Dr. Marcy. She has always been that, will forever for us. You're an amazing resource and a true force of nature. You really are a heart. This was just a tad bit of what Miss Dydam has done, again, to elevate not just academics, because that's number one,
Mhm.
knowledge is power, but humanity. And we thank you for bringing the humanness of our youth to the forefront. And I will share this, some leadership and some executives, they aren't necessarily the ones who practice what they preach. I've seen Marcy sleep out overnight with the homeless as a protest, as elevating awareness, as someone who actually does understand to make sure that the cause is heard. Thank you for the work you do, being amazing, and for
Thank you.
inspiring and sharing us today. Family, if you want to help, you can go to care.kennesaw.edu. They need your assistance. That college has some amazing students. And again, if you'd like to tap into Miss Stidham or the amazing work that they do, reach out to Kennesaw State. Thank you so much, Miss Marcy, Dr. Marcy. Family, hold tight. We're not over. This was powerful, but there's so much more after this.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wynn, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner on Empowered Mornings. We'd like to invite you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., uniquely and gorgeous, to keep your mind locked and loaded on WIN Network.
Welcome back, family. We're so glad that you've joined us. Pardon the technical difficulty. We're going to continue with another powerful segment as we discuss honor and give reverence to veterans. During the month of November, this nation reflects on Veterans Day. And we at the Power Up want to make sure to share our gratitude, appreciation for those who served our country and thought not robbery to leave their lives to protect ours. We often forget that those who have aged and served, our seniors, our military who have gone before and trailblazed, sacrificed so much to make things better for those who are serving right now. Veterans Day honors those who have taken the time and selflessness to serve the United States of America. We want to share history because facts about Veterans Day is what makes us powerful. Understanding where it originated and why it's so important to take time and salute those who carried the flag with honor, who stood for us just so that we could disagree, so that we could have freedoms and protections. In 1921, an unknown soldier from World War I was buried at Arlington National Cemetery. This site on a hillside by the Potomac River in the city of Washington, D.C., became the focal point of reverence of the American veterans. Similar ceremonies occurred earlier in England and France before 1921, where an unknown soldier was buried in each of the nation's highest places of honor. We want you to know why this is so important. This includes places in England, Westminster Abbey, and even in the France at the Arc de Triomphe. These memorials gestured all took place on November 11th, with the first being November 11th, 1918. And they all took place at 11 a.m. That making the most historic memory, the 11th hour of the 11th day on the 11th month. Family Veterans Day makes us pause to remember those who are still just as important, and we thank their combat boots. I'm an Army mom where my daughter served. There's nothing like your heart dropping when you don't hear from them for 3 months while they're in boot camp. When they get deployed overseas and you can't reach them, you can't just call, you can't just check on them. Even when turmoil outbreaks in the area where they are. Family, there's a lot that we go through being the support network, even more as we care for those aging military members. So veterans, we thank you. Family, Congress passed a resolution in 1926 making Veterans Day an annual observation. The observance of this national holiday didn't actually take effect and become nationally recognized until 1938, but it had already been established. How important it is to know that you can make a difference just by reminding this generation of prior generations' victories, of how they stood and fought multiple wars, of how they sacrificed, of how 16.5 million veterans are alive in the United States, and how we have the opportunity to celebrate them all. I also have a sister who served in the United States Army, retired. My dad was a proud sailor in the United States Navy. My father-in-law of the United States Army who fought in Vietnam. Family members, I have brothers who were Marines, cousins who were in the Air Force. Family does not matter your branch. Just appreciate your service. So as we power up together, we won't forget the fact that benefits are still important and we must advocate for veterans. That there are sadly veterans who experience homelessness that we must advocate for. Housing is health care and should be number one when they return from service, to make sure that they're cared for as they've sacrificed so much. We have over 2 million female veterans who need specialty services. Did you know that many of them, 88%, are those of different ethnicities? 8% are Hispanic. Thank you. 73% non-Hispanic. But multiple diversity, multiple individuals, does not matter their ethnicity. They all joined to come together to protect our borders, and at a minimum, deserve the care, respect, and honor we can give them. So during this Veterans Day, don't just decide to throw burgers on the grill. Don't just decide it's a day off, I'm going to put my feet up and enjoy the game. I challenge you to find a way to salute and pay it forward. My dad used to proudly wear everywhere he went his U.S. Navy hat. He had multiple hats, but with honor, he would not leave the house without his U.S. Navy hat. That baseball cap meant everything to him because there was pride attached to it. He shared stories with us about living on a ship, showering so close with other folks that everyone got up because they all had each other's back to do the one mission and return home safely. Certainly, that's what's most important, that those who serve now get the support they need, and those who previously served are recognized and appreciated. So go get your free meals at the restaurants who honor veterans. Many of them do, and you deserve every one of them. And wear your proud memorabilia so that we can recognize you, to say thank you for your service, maybe even to pay for your meal if we're able to. And for those who have the opportunity, Tami, tell me what I need to do. I want to recognize the veterans. I want to honor them. Take the opportunity to find the veteran memorials in your city. There are many. Take your children and grandchildren to go visit veteran memorials. Find ways to pay funds or donate to the many different foundations and cultures that help paralyzed veterans and help those who are returning home who need services. There are many agencies that only focus on the military, and you can donate and help them. You can also learn more by tapping into the Department of Veterans Affairs. You can go to va.gov. Learn what resources are there, how you can help someone who might be a veteran that you feel might be in need. Remember, we all age. We all deal with gravity. We're all going to deal with this body and the process it goes through. Can you help someone? Can you support someone else, especially a veteran who has given it their all? Family, we again want to thank our veterans. We honor you, pay homage to you, and recommend that everyone be edified and educated. Tap into the resources around you, and then empower these young folks, this next generation, so that they understand why saying thank you for your service is so important. Holding a door open is so important. Most importantly, being respectful is so important to our veterans. To my family who served far and wide, cousins, neighbors, associates, friends who've all sacrificed, thank you. We appreciate you, and may you enjoy all that you can this Veterans Day and every day, because we are here and advancing forward because of the selflessness of you. Family, stay focused, stay with us. There's so much more to come. Don't go anywhere.
Life has its way of being sweet, and life has its way of being spicy.
You did not have to hit me there.
Girl, I did not hit you that hard.
Anywho, life has its way of being hard, and life has its way of being easy. Join us every second Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time,
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
at the We Empower Network. Tune in to the Sweet
and Spicy
Podcast. Hope to see you there.
Bye.
Welcome back to the Power Up. Wow, another amazing show. Thank you to our producers who make sure that we bring excellence every week, every show, without question. We started with global news today, edifying and elevating the importance of how we can make a difference across this globe, how we can hold our family up across the water, and most importantly, how we can give and make a difference. Our hearts go out to those children impacted globally by climate change across many countries. Many have experienced disasters and need aid. The babies are impacted. Certainly, they need our help. Also, to those who experienced the boat tragedy in Congo, over 52 confirmed dead, and they're still doing recovery efforts now. 300 individuals were on that boat before it capsized. Family, we ought to care. And to our loved ones in Haiti, who are currently in a city under siege by gang violence. We hear you, we see you. What we can do to help is get educated by going to the cable news network, CNN.com. Get real time factual information so that you can share what you know so that individuals are aware. And contribute, donate to the United Nations Foundation. All that they are to be a beacon and a pioneer, bringing all the countries together so that the UN is one central place where all voices matter. We then were joined by the amazing Marcy Stidham, who is the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs, at Kennesaw State University, who more than 25 years has built programs that she's now educating across the globe, other schools, colleges, no matter what the academic field, on how they can care for homeless students. Family, Homelessness Awareness Month is an opportunity to be educated on how we can make a difference. Housing is important. People tend to think, oh, they're just bums, or the stigmas they want to put with individuals, not understanding that everyone has a story. Life oftentimes can make a difference. There are so many folks living check to check. And the pandemic showed how important it is to care about individuals. Homelessness is not a crime. In fact, there's a fix to it if we all come together and provide wraparound services, good regulations, laws, and show kindness. Consider going to HUD.gov, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, that makes sure they're in the forefront of housing needs and can give you real-time information. And if you'd like to donate and make a difference at Kennesaw State University in the great state of Georgia, care.kennesaw.edu. The Care Center has just taken on a life of its own and serves the community with such grace, making sure that people don't feel devalued while they are working towards their academic goals. Isn't that what we want? Doctors and lawyers, regardless of the struggle they experience. It's the excellence in our next generation that will make the difference as we age. Consider donating today. Go on their website. You can find out what they need, whether it's food or finances, and you can be the difference. We also took time to honor our veterans during this Veterans Day. We thank you. We pay homage to you. We appreciate your selflessness, your sacrifice, leaving your families just to protect ours. Also in November is Pearl Harbor. That's a time when almost 2,000 sailors died as an attack sank multiple vessels, multiple ships. Those ships still underwater in the state of Hawaii. I took an opportunity to visit Pearl Harbor. It's one of the most moving moments. Thinking they were all good, working regular day, and all of a sudden attacked. And family, those were family members. Those were neighbors. Just like the veterans who are here now, we should pay respect. So let us, during this Veterans Day, pay it forward. Take time and honor someone we know that's a veteran in our family. Say thank you. Be nice. Encouraged. How about this? Don't just be nice, go the extra mile because they went the extra mile for us. There's a tomb of the unknown soldier that we spoke of in our Veterans Day segment in Arlington National Cemetery, Washington, D.C. It's guarded 24 hours a day by a soldier, regardless of the weather, regardless of the temperature, regardless of what might be facing them. It's constantly guarded as an honor, as covering their brother, as making sure that whoever lies in that state is always remembered for their sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. Family Veterans Day is a great time to reflect on you, to think you might not be a veteran of the United States military, but there's so much you can do if you just get mission focused. If you decide that I am going to get up today and I am going to make this happen. I am going to develop my goals. I am going to start living my dreams. I am worth being happy. I am are two powerful words that can make a difference where in your life, in whatever state you might be in. Whether you stand in our stead for someone else, or whether you stand as the beacon of light that others can see. What you do with you is what's most important. And now more than ever, we need your gifts, your talents in the earth. So our wrap up today is to remind you of those two powerful words, I am. We would for you to consider how that's speaking a forward motion. It's speaking a life position. I am is a declaration. You can, however, decide what you are. You can put every negative thing you want after those two words. You can even say, I believe what my haters say about me. Come on now. I believe what my ex said. I believe what you can put I am in anything you want to, and it will speak to where you are. But how about making it the most positive, encouraging, affirming words? How about making it the most uplifting and edifying and everyday energizing words? How about write I am on your mirror, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your desk, make it your screenshot on your phone, I am, and decide what you are. I was a people pleaser most of my grown life, middle child syndrome, always taking care of everybody else. Actually became a door rug, allowed myself to just voluntarily be thrown under the bus for other people, to the point of where I lost all self-esteem and identity in me. It wasn't until I was totally taken away from that atmosphere and purpose to focus on me that I realized there's value in Tami. And there's other stuff I see people having that I want too. I want to travel the world. I want to be an author, millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. I want to be happy every day of my life. So I started with my I am list. Now, I was real at the moment, in a rather depressed funk. I was in a place where I couldn't see that happy future. So I was walking and living in that hope that Marcy discussed, that wake up hope, that when there's no hope and you can't see it hope, you just believe in hope. And I started writing the negative things. Yeah, I am this too. I am overweight. I am sick. I am what people say. I am sad all the time. I am in a bad position. I am a victim. started writing the stuff I was believing. Family, can I tell you? My wonderful coach at the time said, nice list. At least you're honest with yourself. So since you wrote 20 of those things, write 40 of the I ams you want to be. Speak to your future. Excuse me, the future you. Speak to what God commissioned you to be. Because where you are in life is temporary. See, life is like a photograph. It's like a movie. You get another scene. It's like a book. There's another chapter or another volume. Where you are right now is not meant to be the end. You have the power. Excuse me, family, sinuses. You have the power to be the most successful, amazing you. So we want to wrap up the show today, just reminding you with I am. I am amazing. I am powerful. And I am a winner. Family, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.